Big talking brewskis. Marissa Smith is who you see. Water cooler combo in here. Crack a cold one, we're on the air. Big talking brewskis. Marissa Smith is who you see. Water cooler combo in here. Crack a cold one, we're on the air. Kicking back, having a few beers, we're chatting. Pull up your chair, we're all relaxing. Any subject, we never dismiss. Big talking brewskis with Marissa Smith. Comedy, sex, relationships, more. Any subject, we got it in store. Big talking brewskis is coming in live. Crack when open, Marissa has arrived. Big talking brewskis with Marissa Smith. Yeah.
Hey guys, happy Friday. This is Big Talking Brewskis. I'm Marissa Smith. As always, I've got Rodney Daniels with me.
What's up, guys? Happy Friday. I was showing everybody Zach's new Tinder profile picture.
Oh, yes. It is too hot to handle. We got Zach Petrovich with us.
Hello, ladies.
That's the perfect voice to go with this picture.
We've got Ian Biscuit with us.
Hi there.
Sounds terrifying.
Well, I've been practicing that for the last 10 minutes. I thought it was just like middle of the road kind of casual, yeah. Nailed it.
Hi. And we've got Tanya Lewis.
Hi.
So now, Ian,
Mm-hmm.
you guys recently had a new prime minister installed.
Yes, we did. God help us. Yeah, we did. Yeah.
God,
Okay, all right. So, like, how? Because, like, one of the things that I was like excited about to have you on the show is because, like, you know, like we're on this side of the pond, like we only hear what our media wants us to hear, and so like,
facts.
right? So, like, I was kind of like curious, like, what does the average man on the street and, like, you know, the UK feel about your new prime minister?
They kind of like him, I think. I don't know, right? It's kind of hard, right? Because it's a bit like you guys in America, I guess. There's kind of populations that really like your president, and then there's people who are indifferent, I guess, to the president, and it's the same with our guy, right? So he's not necessarily been elected either as a prime minister. So we had.
Wait, what do you mean that
him.
he's not elected?
They picked him.
Yeah. So what happens in the UK is so we basically elect MPs, so members of parliament, and I'm going to get it wrong, so don't quote me, but I think there's about 525 seats.
Okay.
Of 525 seats. And then once you get a majority of seats, then you can go to the Queen, because we still got to ask the Queen, and we go and ask the Queen, can you form a government? And then the leader of that party will go and form a government. So in what we had before was a chap called David Cameron, and he decided that he wanted to go and so what he did basically at the very, very, very start of this whole thing is the kind of real right wing in our country were going, we want to get out of Europe. So he said, don't worry about it. We'll go and have a referendum. No one will care, but I'll please the people on the right of my party. So he goes out, and then he goes, oh my God, everyone's voted to get out of Europe. So then he leaves, and then we get a lady called Theresa May in. Right. And then everyone who was sort of lobbying to kind of get out of Europe, who was in her party, didn't help her. So they went, you know, we'll watch
fuck
you.
This bitch,
and
we're gonna get someone else.
What?
They're kind of like, fuck this bitch, we're getting someone else.
No, they were kind of like going, oh my God,
She resigned.
everyone's actually voted us to come out. So in the case of the chap who we've got now, he kind of said, "Yeah, we should leave. Everyone should leave." But he was a journalist who was dead, like kind of.
He lied a lot though, because like the articles that I've been reading about was that he was a journalist, but like most of the stories that he presented were all lies.
What?
I got to be honest. Him saying "chap" wasn't the greatest part of this.
I
entire
love
podcast.
that. It was
Like
like
Chap.
Chappie.
Oh,
He said
man.
Chappie.
Yeah. So no, and so he basically does things for two things. I think allegedly.
Cheese.
So power and just kind of like fame. So he did all the journalism thing for fame, and he just decided that he could, he's getting more hits, more likes just by being, we need straight bananas, and it's Europe's fault that we're not allowed round ones. So everyone,
Can you say bananas again one more time? Can you say
Yeah.
bananas one more time?
Yeah, that is, so it's true. And anyway, I'm not even going there. I'm riding over it. So anyway, to cut long story short,
You're
Your
triggering
dick
him. You're
sober.
triggering him. Yeah. You're triggering him. He heard bananas and he's gonna go jerk off in a fucking trash.
He's
can.
yeah, like Ian, he just wants to like jerk off tonight to the sound
Bananas.
of British
that's why everyone wants
bananas.
to get out of the EU, because we're not allowed due to EU rules. Yeah. So we all want to get out. So no. So this new guy's come in, and he's and to give you, he's a man of the people. He's actually called Alexander Boris, if I get it right, de Flaffel or de Fliffel or something like that. So that's
What
his real
does
name.
that even mean?
Right.
It's his second middle. Can you allow a second middle name? Well, his passport's quite long, and then he's called Boris. So everyone knows him as Boris Johnson.
Well, if you're Catholic, you have
That
a second middle
sounds
name.
like
Second middle
Ukrainian
name?
Or if you're Catholic, you get a second middle
or
name.
like
I think
I don't
What's
know,
your
like some
full
sort of
name?
Eastern
Well, I
like,
wasn't
European or
Catholic.
something.
Oh.
No, he's a man of the people.
really.
So
So
thought he
second
was
name is four
privileged
names?
elite.
Wait, so like, is
Yeah.
he a man of your people or is he a man of the Nazi people?
no. He's well, I don't think you call him a Nazi. I don't think he's ever. He's definitely Oxford
I'm
educated.
an American until Trump actually revokes our freedom of speech. I can call anybody a Nazi I want to.
Yeah. No, this guy just basically. What was that great song? Blowing in the Wind. He kind of just goes with it. He kind of ambles left and goes a bit right, depending on what will get him through. So he's meant to be not a completer finisher. So he was kind of let's not go there. But he yeah. No, so he, I'm
Sorry,
not even gonna
you said complete finisher. I was trying to hold it in.
You triggered him again. Like Ian,
He
you
was
are
not a
like
complete
triggering
finisher.
Rodney left and right now.
Oh, goodness.
thank God there's a big Atlantic between us. But
So true.
Not a problem.
anyway, I'm
He triggers
rambling.
me
It's
too,
long-
so like I'm just saying.
Yeah. So anyway, we got Theresa May in, and she was going to get us out of Europe, but she didn't really believe it because she didn't want to go out. And then all the boys in the background, so it was a very like little boys club in the back of the Conservative Party were literally going. They all left the cabinet, and then she couldn't do it.
I'm
And
sorry,
then-
Ian, but you're killing Rodney again because you're talking about the boys in the back.
Little boys club. Oh, so.
No, it was a little
It's been
boys
so
club.
long.
Honestly.
I just gotta say, this all sounds
He
like
wants
politics.
to be.
It sounds like
No,
politics,
for
right?
you, for
Politics
you, Zach,
for
this
him.
sounds like politics.
Right.
For
For me-
Rodney, this sounds like a dating prospect.
Oh, I'm aware
Um,
and I'm happy.
All right, so Ian, I'm sorry. Like we're gonna put our big boy and girl pants on. So the boys in the back.
Tell you what, you're going to ruin my career. The BBC are never going to phone me up and ask me to be a political commentator.
It's all right. Come over here. All you gotta be is like
I might get
famous for
Fox.
a week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you'll get Fox
You gotta have
every
two
day,
good-
all day.
you gotta have
all
two
you have to
good
do is
tweets.
talk.
Yeah.
They'll just be like, "Oh my god, his accent is so cute."
Right.
what I don't understand about those shows like Fox and CNN, right? That they're all and I swear to God, I was literally watching something the other day. So I've been doing a bit of work around like CO2 footprints and all that kind of day job. But I was watching Fox News and I was stood there going, "Oh my God, they've flown somebody. There's somebody out in Washington, there's someone out in New York, and then there's someone stood in the middle." And they're all kind of chatting to each other. And you can kind of go, you could have all just got in one room and had a little chat. There's actually no need for you to be out in those extreme parts of the country. And you just get what I mean? I don't get why news anchors and everyone thinks it's more interesting if I'm watching like Deborah in Delaware and,
Because
Zach
they're
in
cheap
Zanzibar.
and they don't want to have to pay for airfare.
Oh, but they do.
No. But he's
I
saying
think
they
he's
are
saying
paying
the
for
opposite.
Yeah, I think it's because it makes it
They
more.
They
Here's the
have
thing.
so much money that they do that.
I think it's
They wanna-
because it makes it. I think on a marketing standpoint, they're making it more local to people. So depending on what
They
part of the
wanna-
country you're watching the news from, because it is 24-hour news station.
Yeah.
They got to do something.
Like
to
they'll be
let
like,
it-
oh, there's someone in Delaware that's kind of close to
Makes
Pennsylvania and kind of close to They're kind of close to Maryland, kind of close to
Right.
more
Virginia.
authentic. Yeah.
Plus, when something's
someone
going, plus when something's going down, like, oh yeah, I'm the New York reporter, and I'm in New York, and this is just happening right now. I'm looking out my window.
They have affiliates all over the country too. So
The only reason I get for doing it, right, is if your kind of wage bill's a bit high for all your news anchors and it's like sort of mid-hurricane season, let's send the bugger down to the Gulf Coast. Let's get rid of one or two of them. We're over to Dave right now. He's in
But our country is.
Galveston.
Well, we're here down at the
I'd say send
But
them.
I think it's because our country is so
Hold on,
huge.
Dave. Hold on.
Has anyone seen that video of the woman getting hit with the? She's a news anchor. She gets hit with the fucking stop sign
No.
in the middle of like. She's like, "Yeah, we're here during hurricane, blah blah blah," and shoom, boom, fucking
No.
stop sign comes out of nowhere and just nails her.
Did she
no, I haven't
die?
seen
I don't
that.
know. I didn't do my
real.
research, but
Right,
it's
that's the whole.
fucking awesome. Like,
It's real.
I don't know. I'm not, dude, I'm a fucking comedian. I'm not. I don't. You know,
You're not a journalist.
I don't decide who lives or dies. You know, I just make fun of it.
But there's so many fucked up stories that happened this week about people dying and shit. Did you hear about the twins?
So like the thing that I don't understand about the twins is apparently
You're talking about the twins in the car.
The
yeah.
twins in the car.
So like
was just a
apparently
guess.
that
Yeah.
I
there
didn't hear about it.
Yeah, well, if
there's
nobody,
a psychological phenomenon
you
that
covered it
is
better than I
called
did. I gotta be honest.
that's called forgotten baby syndrome. And so
A
like
lot of people do it.
what they're saying is that if you are the parent that doesn't normally drop off the kids, that like when you put the kids in the car and you're heading off to your day, that eventually you're gonna forget that you have the kids in the car because you're just gonna go into the autopilot of your day, which is like get your
a good
coffee,
defense.
get
My
your
mom-
gas,
yeah.
like go to your job, and then you're gonna forget
Forget you're a
that
dad.
the babies
My mom
Or
did that
it-
to us once,
are in the. My dad forgot me,
but I was a
once in
toddler. Like
Like
I could say stuff.
Roll down the
I mean,
window a
my,
little bit.
my
I was
dad,
gonna blame
like
it,
my
like-
parents never forgot me in a car. My dad forgot me in a mall, and so like
Ooh, that's worse.
it was
That's where
like
predators are.
But like I was able to like talk to
I'm gonna
people.
talk about that in a second.
Like I was able to talk to people and just be like, "You're not my dad." Like I like specifically remember like walking in a mall, and I like you're a little kid and you
But
just
see,
see a big hand.
I don't get the
and
forgetting part. Though.
you grab a big hand. So like I saw a big hand next to me and I grabbed it, and then like the guy was just like, "Whoa, little one, I'm not your dad." And I just looked up and I'm just like, "Daddy?"
That's where you've just caused like 2 years of like sort of marriage counselling for the couple. The wife's turning around going, "Who's that kid? She don't look like me."
Wait, that
It was the
another
Puerto
one.
Rican Day Parade, honey. All right.
That was another twin story that happened. You guys hear about that one with the Asian couple that had IVF?
No.
And they had
What the fuck?
After
Okay.
they
Oh, in
spend
vitro,
all
in
that
vitro.
They
money,
spent $100,000 to have
And they
IVF.
forgot
No, listen,
kids.
they didn't know. They put
I
the
have
wrong.
IBS.
They put the wrong embryos inside of this woman.
that's awesome.
She
Oh,
carried
shit.
2 kids
That
to
were
full
redheaded.
term that came out and they weren't Asian. That's how they figured out that those weren't their kids.
What were
Wait,
they?
she was Asian or she was
She
not
was
Asian?
she was Asian,
was
and the
Asian.
kids
And the
came
kids-
out and they were not Asian.
And they
Man, that's
were
like
not
bringing in a
Asian.
wrong drink, though, when you really think about it.
But like honestly,
Wait.
that's
When you
like-
really think
but
about
the
it.
fucked up part is those embryos
Using
had
that
to go to
womb
like the
rent-free.
actual like parents that they belonged to, and they just were like
Where are those? Did they go somewhere else?
in California.
Was there a switch?
Yeah. they
So
had
wait,
to-
the other woman brought up
the
these
woman,
2 Asian
the
chicks?
woman
Awesome.
had 2
So-
babies and then had to give them away to the actual real parents.
Like,
Because they
I
were-
think you left these.
like, oh,
but they throw
no,
'em out.
Are you
actually,
missing
Where,
something?
where
Those
where
are
in the
not
world?
your babies that you carry.
Where in the
They
world did
belong
this
to
happen?
somebody else.
that
There
right
is-
there is the
a
problem.
couple here in New
Science.
York that
And
was
then a
going-
couple
was
in
ju-
California.
No, they were doing IVF in California because I guess it was cheaper there. I don't know.
It's not cheap.
So it was 2
It's
Asian
cheaper if you
people.
go to
Yes, an
any
Asian-
other
an
country.
Asian couple.
IBS.
That went to go get IVF in California, and they switched up the wrong embryos, and then she carried the kids to full term, and then they came out and they were black.
Damn. I'd be shocked too. I gotta be honest.
You know.
I'd be like, I'm Italian. I didn't know I was that Italian. Damn, like that's. Like,
It's like, well, I guess I'm
Well, at least they
Sicilian.
were-
yeah, right. Yeah, exactly.
At least they were
Mom.
able to switch them back, right?
Right, but no, and there was another
No
story
foul.
too. Like that's found. There was so many stories this
No
week.
foul,
I was
just
like,
9 months of carrying
What
not
the
your
fuck?
kids.
Well, you would have had to carry some kids.
Did you guys hear
back.
about the guy in
What's that, Ian?
Missouri? Oh, what's
They
up?
had to give them back.
Yes, they had to give them
They
back.
had to switch them.
Oh.
Yes, that's horrible.
they?
You carry the kids. You carry 2 kids for 9 months, and now you got to give them back.
That's
How do we know that they weren't like, hey, fuck this ain't our kid? How do you? See,
That's
here's
got to
the
be
thing.
legally a bit.
DNA.
We're giving them. But we're giving them a lot of benefit of the doubt. Like, how do we know that like
They
these
were
people
Asian,
weren't? That's
and
what
the
I'm saying.
kids came out black.
I don't know.
That's why
I don't
the
know
kids were
how many.
black.
Okay,
But they were
I
clearly
mean,
not
ask you
Asian.
something.
honestly, like how many Asians are not going to say yes to a tiger?
well, they weren't, but it wasn't their DNA. It wasn't
It
a
wasn't them.
tiger.
It doesn't.
They birthed a Kobe.
They were.
Like
All right, how many Asians are going to say no to a Kobe?
a lot. They're racist. Do you ever talk to an Asian off the boat? Like they don't even like
well,
themselves. Like,
Yeah, right. They give away girls.
Oh my god, no! My favorite. Have you ever heard someone from Hong Kong talk about a mainlander?
They drown girls.
They drown girls.
That's-
It's
Right.
insane.
Well, that's only 1 or 2 countries.
Right.
I'm just saying
Not all.
that
Not all of Asia.
Right.
Not all of them.
These are all stereotypes. We're terrible people.
If we were talking about osmosis, I'm Korean. So
Oh my god! But no, there was another
I'm
story that I
hops.
read. Okay.
This gives me hope.
There was a guy in Missouri, okay? His mom
Tom
died,
Sawyer?
and he started cleaning out the refrigerator and found a dead baby. It was his sister. That was like
Oh,
30.
no,
like, she was like
bitch,
38,
no.
like a 38-year-old fetus that the
No.
mom had put in the freezer.
No,
And they had moved to multiple places, and she used to tell him, "Oh, that's a piece of my wedding cake. I'm gonna just put it in the back of the freezer." Yes, but really,
Is
it
it
was
piece
his
of the
twins?
wedding cake?
Yes, she said that it was a wedding cake, the piece of the wedding cake.
Speaking of babies and cake,
But
as
really-
Wait, what
but-
cake has legs and arms?
No,
I don't
it
know.
was
Have you
this-
seen the
it was
baby
in-
cake?
It
Wrapped
was,
up, I
it was
imagine.
wrapped up in a box like this, and she just put it in the
Carvel,
freezer.
maybe.
Oh
Carvel.
no!
shut
Yes.
the fuck
With
up.
the-
I love
with the
Carvel.
And he
crunchies.
discovered that,
Oh my
you know,
God.
a dead baby in the
Say it
freezer.
slow.
Oh no!
God.
That's
Oh,
probably
that's
the only
not
woman in the
bad.
world
She
that
was just
wanted her son
grieving.
to go to like a school that
People
didn't
would do
educate
that
them
all the
well.
time before there was television.
Wait, Ian, what was that?
Just saying, it's probably the only mom in the world who didn't want her son educated, so he couldn't tell the difference between a cake and a baby.
Yeah.
Well, no,
We trained him wrong as a joke.
when it goes round and
gives
stuff.
joy,
When can
and
we
one
have a
takes
piece of that
joy.
cake? Well, it's tradition to keep a piece of
No,
your
it wa-
wedding cake.
It's tradition to
Right.
keep a piece
Yeah,
of your wedding
that's-
cake, and it was in a.
I understand.
It was in a box.
That's a good backup
Yes,
plan.
it was in
I
a
like
box.
It. She was
and
thinking
she just
ahead.
put it in the freezer.
I
and
love
like
her.
they moved to the multiple places, and she always had
I'm
this.
taking
box
the
in
baby.
freezer
All right, I gotta
his whole
Yeah,
life.
that's too much.
I gotta talk
Too
about
much
That
this.
is
free.
too
That's
much.
crossing the line.
That's too much.
That's my favorite
Speaking of
story of the
limbs,
night.
speaking of limbs and freezers and shit like that.
Wait, are you talking about limbs and freezers and free will?
So wait, when you grabbed that guy's hand in the mall, was that free will or was that because you just knew that your dad had large hands?
Daddy.
I
And
was
how do
a
you know that you
baby,
went home with your dad?
So that might be the initial choice. Did we find Marissa's first free will choice?
No,
I
my
got
that
excited.
was literally like
Your
there
4-year-old
was a
self.
hand
It's big.
that was there that seemed to be paying more attention than my father. I
Because he was halfway across
I was just
town.
taking out. I was taking the piss out, but you're now. I'm sad and.
oh, that's fine. My father's a piece of shit. I'm
Oh,
totally
cool.
fine with that.
But what I
Do you
would.
guys remember those books that you used to get as a kid?
My
where you
daddy's
used to,
a
like-
piece of shit.
No.
Everybody poops.
I know what he's gonna put the
Yeah,
face in the
we,
note card.
yeah, no. Yeah, we won't say my daddy's a piece of shit. It was kind of like it's a bit more polite. My daddy's not a very nice person in England. It's probably a translation of the my
daddy's
a
a piece of shit.
Yeah.
You guys are so cute with your politeness. I told my dad's new wife she was a cunt. Like that's how we're doing it in America.
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 Yeah, no, I
When we
think that
put
translates
cheese
over
on
here, too.
everything.
My brother told me he was going to stab me in the neck
I
with a
put
fucking.
American cheese on the apple pie, and I told my dad's sixth wife she was a cunt.
Now I'll tell you what. I will tell you what. If and you don't call your daddy's new wife a cunt, you ain't part of this goddamn family. You hear?
Goddamn cunt.
Goddamn cunt.
Now
Not
put your-
drinking no moonshine and shit.
Now put your
You think
sister
you're
back
all
in the
special
freezer.
with your
I gotta-
Everclear.
I gotta say, my Everclear. Come on, we make our own. Oh man, no, I love. I fucking. My favorite term for like hillbilly here though, because I was just down in West Virginia, so of course we got to use it a few times. Is shit kicker.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that is just such a perfect term. And then I learned.
So I don't mean to be offensive,
Oh please.
but
Oh no, I'm a cracker. Go for it.
I call all white people that live outside of the metropolitan area shit kickers.
Would I be included in shit kickery?
I
No,
mean,
you live in New York now.
Brooklyn, but when you lived in Pennsylvania, yes.
I was a shit kicker. Okay.
But like when you live in Brooklyn, no.
Okay.
But like as soon
Have I
as
moved
you...
to Mook?
So I'm a shit
no.
kicker.
Well,
Well, no, because
you're
you're,
But you're like a-
you're in England.
you're a classy
so, like,
shit kicker.
That's
You're
not
like a feces flicker.
They don't
Targeted.
No, like in England, you're not like a shit kicker because, like, the weird thing is historically, you guys
Unless you're from Manchester.
abolished slavery before we did.
yeah, early.
Um, But like, I feel like English people aren't like shit kickers. Is like okay, so. I'm gonna be 100% honest with you right now. Like, I don't get freaked out by white people with English accents, but I get freaked out with people of color with English accents because I'm like, what did they do to you? Like, it's just like,
like
Sidney
If that's
Poitier.
it, well, here's the thing though.
I was gonna say Idris Elba.
no, he's hot, but like, what did they do to him?
Oh.
Like, you know what I mean? It's just like, how did you get to there? Like, I mean,
Involuntary spasms.
I'm fine with whatever happened to create that process for me to see this man with this body, with this voice. But like at the same time, I'm just kind of like, oh, they strung up your best friend. Like,
Damn.
It's like seeing a panda
Like,
in
get
the
out.
fucking Bronx Zoo. It just doesn't fit, you know? It's like,
yeah, it's just kind of like, oh, Why did you go to
They
there?
have a panda at the Bronx Zoo.
Fuck yeah, they got a panda at the Bronx Zoo.
They
Bronx
got a
Zoo's-
panda at every zoo.
Goddamn
think they
fucking
do.
Bronx Zoo.
I was gonna
is
say,
the-
I feel like a panda is like a.
I don't think they do.
I will
They're
bet
polar bears there.
that makes a ton of sense.
Polar bears are there.
They've got all the
Pandas
bears.
are very.
You ever seen a polar bear with no hair? Fucking freaky.
They're very thin.
Where's
They look like fucking werewolves.
They look
Google that shit.
Is that like
Ooh.
Teen Wolf if he hasn't had dick?
Kind of. A little bit.
there was
Speaking of, I just watched the
Wait.
worst werewolf movie in the history of the world. It's called My Mom is it's like My Mom is a Werewolf. It's on Amazon Prime.
That sounds like a porn.
It might as well be. It's honestly pretty, but it's rated PG. And there's like a full on sex scene at one point, and then like the werewolves are literally like Party City masks running around, and they're like, "Roar!" And like the husband's like, "Boo, there's a werewolf!" It's oh my god, it's the worst fucking movie I've ever seen in my life. I suggest watching it.
I do find that really bad about Amazon. You know, when you're like kind of, and it's like Netflix. Netflix is the worst. When you're trying to find something decent, and then you come across, and
you don't
know,
realize
for
it until like
example, now,
15, 20 minutes
you-
into it.
I'm a fan
Yeah,
of
yeah.
shitty movies just because like I'm a huge fan of Mystery Science Theater. So like
Yeah,
I
I mean,
love
it's good.
shitty
Yeah.
movies because like you can just sit with a couple of friends and just laugh your ass off about it when you realize like there's no point in even trying to follow this. But I have
you know,
definitely been
you
duped
can't
myself
invite-
though.
Sorry.
Oh no, go ahead. You're good, Ian. I'm
Yeah, I was
rambling.
just
I'm
going to
drunk.
say, you can't invite anyone around to your house now and say, don't come around and let's watch Netflix, because there's some 24-year-old who's programmed an algorithm now that basically makes your whole life look like you're just into werewolf porn. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah, you are right. Yeah.
no,
yeah.
but I feel
Oh,
like
because
it's-
But
you
little do you
watch-
know, I'm into it.
Because you
Yeah,
watch.
thank God for Eric and the fact he didn't get into, investment banking into quants and instead went into Amazon and basically programmed it so all my friends basically think I'm some kind of degenerate who's got some weird kind of fetish thing.
Yeah, but like honestly, I feel like that is a problem. So like, there's definitely been guys that I like initially started to date, and
I
I
was just about to
thought
go
that
there.
it was promising,
Uh-huh.
and then they invited me over to their place, and like I'm watching TV at their place, and they're on their Netflix or their Hulu or whatever, and all of a sudden, like, all of their suggested to watch are like some sort of anime or like some sort of like, I don't know, documentaries about like how to get away with murder and
How to
like
Wait.
How to kill a comedian. One.
How to kill a female comedian from
Volume
Hoboken.
two.
I am from
How to kill a
Yonkers,
comedian.
goddamn.
Yonkers. Sorry.
Fuck Jersey. Like, but like, no,
Well, I was
it's
gonna
like,
say,
it's
hold on.
weird.
Because the cartoons, like, 'cause she's talking about somebody specifically. She used to date this guy was 50.
Yeah, he was 50, and like
And-
I went over
He was
to his
watching
place,
cartoon.
Sounds like a friend
and
watching Carol.
and
That's awful.
But
like,
all of his Netflix was cartoons.
and
That's
all of his
awesome.
Netflix was like anime or cartoons, and like to the point that I'm like sitting in his living room
It's
and
an
I'm texting
anti-dating
Rodney,
commercial right there.
and I'm like, Rodney, like this dude's whole fucking shit is cartoons. What do you say? It's like, bitch, get out of there. He's a killer.
For real. You 50 watching cartoons. Come on, bruh.
I think there's two things there. It's like kind of one, check for a door to see if there's a basement, and two, check his annual, sort of weekly food bill and see if he's kind of feeding about 10 or 15 kids downstairs that you don't know about. Because that's a bit weird, right?
But like, why
Yeah.
would he be feeding them? He just wants
Because
to.
he puts the lotion in the
But
basket.
does he eat cereal while he
Just wants
watches
to
the
touch them.
cartoons?
That would make him a serial killer.
Ah.
That is your
Ba-dum,
dad joke
boom.
of the podcast.
Zach Petrovic for the win, folks.
My
He is
goodness.
all about the wheaties.
But no, you understand the killer stuff though. That's what I'm
With
obsessed
us.
with. Like I'm obsessed with like the killer stuff. So if you saw like my Netflix, it's all like how to get away with murder, like type of like true crime. I don't know. I have a problem.
Mine's a lot of werewolf dick.
I mean, I think your real problem is that you're on/off the wagon, but that's just me.
I was
You know, it's going to be
definitely on the
really
wagon
difficult
today.
for me when the
problem
New
that it
York
tracks
PD come over and say there's 2 comedians that have died in some kind of like sound studio somewhere. And I'll go like, you were on the call, and I'll be like, I have no idea what went on. I was this side of the Atlantic. So, and the fact I've got no friends around me to prove that I was actually in my place on my own, it could be
my
all
God,
bad
you
thing
just
for me.
Fucking freak me out right now.
Wait.
I don't think I'm gonna die. I don't feel the heart attack coming on quite yet, but
No.
so I'm good.
He's doing this
I-
whole podcast from like on 36th Street down the street. I got a hotel. He's at the Marriott across the street.
I will say
Let me
With
let you know
cheese.
right now, Ian.
Lots of
Let me
cheese.
let you know right now. There's a lot of motherfuckers that love me. Okay, they're gonna be looking for Rodney. You come get this.
I will
Who are
just
you?
say
Do you know what? Before I get you the
Laying
cheese,
down
Will,
some truth.
Cheese of the month club, bitch.
Right. My subscription comes all the time, right?
I mean
People couldn't know if I'm not eating my Gruyere.
I only eat age gear, but like I'm just saying, you guys, is that although I might be on the list of people that are single-ish, I will say that yeah, like you can only find me at the top class cheese places. Like
Yes.
like if you're not surrounded by French people, I was never there. Like no, but like seriously though, it's just like yeah, like this is a problem. Like yes, people disappear and that is why I keep Rodney around, because like if I'm going on a date with some guy and I disappear, I know he's gonna finger their ass to death. Like that is
In
All right.
Rodney, I trust. I truly do. No matter what side of the wagon he's on, I trust this man.
in Rodney
you.
we trust. So like very
Yes.
quickly,
Thank
because
you.
like we gotta like wrap this shit up. We're getting the get the fuck out of here
Sign? Yeah.
sign. So Tanya,
Yeah.
why do you think people are no longer interested in space travel?
Oh, this is
Netflix. You know, like everything is fulfilled on the cell phone or a computer. Nobody. I don't
feel
know.
like that's Star Trek.
The movies. I don't think that
The
it
show,
opens
the
up
movies.
Yeah,
I feel like
ain't
people
answer to this
don't care about
No, you
space travel anymore because
because
they
the whole
think-
public discourse has gone away from.
I feel like they think space travel happened on Star Trek.
Because it never happened.
Oh,
Or
fuck
that
this.
too.
If I knew that's what you were going to say, fuck you. All right, no. Here's the problem. It takes too fucking long to get there. That's what it is. It's like, oh, we're going to watch someone launch a fucking rocket. Oh, yippity-doo,
It
Kennedy
takes too
Space
long
Station.
to get around the planet. We seem
Let
to
me
have
tell
done
you
that,
something.
though.
Man, these
Here's
motherfuckers
why-
are gone for 6 fucking months running
Well,
up to
I'ma
the
tell
fucking
you-
moon to walk at a bunch of fucking rocks. Rodney's over here sitting here like, no, it was done in a goddamn thing.
Well,
No,
Darwin
you
was
think-
gone for
You
3
think
years.
you're at this flat too,
Here's-
motherfucker? Come
No,
on.
here's why it never happened. Because guess what? We're all capitalists. There would be a fucking Disney World on fucking the moon
Well, it's not
if we
commercially
actually
available.
went to the moon.
We went to the moon. It's not commercially available. How many people are you going to pay's family
That was
if you it decides to fucking go
1960
Columbia?
something.
Man,
They
it
would
was
have figured it out by now.
1995 when fucking Columbia happened
They
or
would
some
have figured
shit
it
like
out by
that.
now. It is 2019. They would have figured out a way to
People
get
have
to
been
the
to the
moon.
goddamn moon. You're insane.
We've only went once, and we've never gone back again.
Well, there were several missions.
and there's always a
Here,
mission.
take a hit of this fucking joint I'm
Right.
passing you. 'cause
Didn't
clearly
It
you're
wasn't
stoned.
really
It
about
did not.
science.
You've never
It
gone back again?
happened. It happened.
Wait,
but
wait,
it didn't.
Ian, what was that?
I was going to say the reason you've not gone back again
the
is
political-
because despite the fact you'll eat any type of cheese, the only type of cheese you guys won't eat is probably dehydrated cheese. And
I
that's
thought you were
what
going to say the
takes
moon was
away.
made of cheese, and I was really excited for that.
The moon is made of cheese. The moon is made of rusty, dusty ass motherfucking cheese. All right, so we do need to wrap this up.
Okay.
Before
Rodney, I
I
love you,
go,
lady.
I'm gonna do a round robin. Everybody tell us your social media, what projects you're working on, where people can see you next. As always, I'm going to start with Rodney Daniels.
I am going to be doing a podcast with Celeste Jennings on at 7:15 on. Look me up on my Instagram. But I'm also going to be hosting Fashion Be Funny at the Broadway Comedy Club with Marissa Smith on August 23rd. Everything that you need to know about me are all my handles. Roddy Downs on everything: Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Thank you.
Zach.
If you guys want to check me out, I am usually down in the Village somewhere. I'm sure if you ask enough people, you will find me. I am there pretty much every weekend.
Especially if you're looking for drugs.
Well, yeah, duh. I mean, you don't get to the ripe old age of 25 and have this voice without doing hard drugs. But hang out, come down to the Pear. I should be there next weekend. This weekend I am off because I was busy visiting the Clydesdales in Delaware last week and forgot to send in my avails. But I also have a Zinc Bar show coming up August 29th at Zinc Bar on West 3rd Street in the Village. That's going to be August 29th at 7 o'clock. Got a pre-sale on that. Other than that, you also have me, Dan Lamort, and Mike Terry at Club Cafe in Pittsburgh in the South Side. It's going to be coming up in September. Keep an eye out for that on my Instagram, which is at Zachy Peanuts, Z-A-C-H-Y, Peanuts like the allergy. Same in Twitter. Thank you.
Ian.
Ian,
are you still there?
Oh, yeah, I am. Sorry, I went on mute. Sorry.
Was he eating more crisps?
I actually was having a crisp. I was having a cheeky crisp.
Cheeky ass motherfucking crisp with cheese, raw ale.
Sorry, chips for those of us who don't understand English. So anyway, I'll be down the Hope, which is my local pub, next week on Wednesday in the Corner. If anyone wants to come over and have a drink, please say hi.
I might just fly out and meet you.
Down the Hope.
One day we will all come out to meet you to have a drink.
International tour for Big Talks and Brewskis.
Right, down
Yeah,
the Hope.
it's no mistake
on the
that
road.
my local's called the Hope.
Because it's hopeless.
No.
Okay. And where can they follow you on social media?
I don't have it, so come down the Hope. I'll write him a message on a piece of paper.
Oh my God!
All right, so Ian is sending out an SOS. Tanya.
Well, I guess I'm going to be in space. So you can find me there. Since Ronnie doesn't believe we ever traveled there.
Thank you, Don.
That's where
Sorry.
I will be the first ambassador. Aside from that, I guess you can find me on Facebook and what else? My website, TanyaLewisComedy.com.
There's also the Twitters.
Yeah, it's just fucking boring, so I wouldn't recommend it. But you can find me on Twitter too.
Straight Twitter.
And that is honesty, you guys. I know it's very confusing in this day and age, but honesty.
Marissa Smith.
So, honesty's sake, you can also find me at the Twitters. I find it boring, but if you want to find my sordid dating life, you can find that on the Instagrams because the men's think that I am on the menu. So follow me on the Facebooks at Marissa Smith. Follow this show on everything. Big Talkin' Brewskis. Check out my other podcasts, The Blame Storming. We're on Twitter at Big Talkin' Brew. I will be at the Portland, Maine Comedy Festival next week, starting Friday through Sunday. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and remember, you guys, Joe Biden is only 100% protecting his story because he forgot that he was never actually president. Have a good night. Bye-bye.